welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Welcome back to another episode of Tales of Honor Podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and this is a bi-weekly podcast that brings you the true stories of the recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor, and it's every Wednesday and Sunday, if you're wondering when that would be. But you can listen to it really anytime you want. However, tonight's episode is going to be episode 25, and since it is the beginning of September, I wanted to go over two things with you. And the first thing is going to be about the episodes in September and October. So September of this year marks the 16th anniversary of the terror attacks on September 11th on the Pentagon and the World Trade Center. And what I'm doing this month and next month will be reading every recipient's story from Iraq and Afghanistan, since September 11th is what started the global war on terror. And even though we are still there, it's very important to remember why we are still there. And the events that happened on September 11th are actually what really sparked my want to serve, as well as many other people, including some of the people that you'll hear about over the next 2 months. So that is what we are doing. I have just enough time to read all the stories of every recipient from Iraq and Afghanistan. So we'll get that done. Also, we're going to keep on being fueled by our two great partners, Design Cake Studios and Sunrise Linens, and tonight's episode is being brought to you by Sunrise Linens. They're my good friends nearby over in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and they're a vintage vibe clothing business that offers quality handmade clothing right here in the good old US of A. Visit their store at etsy.com/shop/Sunrise Linens, and be sure when you're all done checking out, be sure you enter the promo code TOH25 for 25% off your order. And also, please be sure to give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram, because that's when they will post up new offers, new items, and whatever they may be having going on at that time. Also, since we're doing 2 months of Iraq and Afghanistan, Paula's husband, Brian, is a Iraq vet as well. Not that you needed a reason for good handmade quality clothing, but hey, go support a local veteran business. Sunrise Linens for nostalgia and wandering. And now, a tale of honor. Edward C Byers Jr. was born on the 4th of August, 1979, in Toledo, Ohio, and his father had served in the Navy during World War II. While growing up, Edward was in the Boy Scouts, and he went on to graduate from Otsego High School in Tontogany, Ohio. In September of 1998, Edward enlisted in the U.S. Navy and became a hospital corpsman, first at Great Lakes Naval Hospital and then later with 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marine. He deployed with the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit aboard the USS Austin, and in 2002, Edward began basic underwater demolition SEAL training. He graduated with Class 242 and went on to attend the Special Operations Combat Medic course in 2003. By May of 2004, Edward was assigned to his first SEAL team. To say that Edward was just another member of the service or just another Navy SEAL, although correct, this would be such a minor acknowledgement to his service. Being a part of 11 overseas deployments, which include 9 combat tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, has made him the most decorated living Navy SEAL in U.S. history. 5 Bronze Stars, 1 with Valor, 2 Purple Hearts, a Joint Service Commendation Medal with Valor, and 2 Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medals, 1 with Valor, are just a few of Edward's accolades. On the 29th of February, 2016, President Obama presented the Medal of Honor to Senior Chief Special Warfare Operator Byers for his actions on the 5th of December, 2012. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty as a hostage rescue force team member in Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 8 to 9 December 2012. As the rescue force approached the target building, an enemy sentry detected them and darted inside to alert his fellow captors. The sentry quickly reemerged, and the lead assaulter attempted to neutralize him. Chief Byers with his team sprinted to the door of the target building. As the primary breacher, Chief Byers stood in the doorway, fully exposed to enemy fire while ripping down 6 layers of heavy blankets fastened to the inside ceiling and walls to clear a path for the rescue force. The first assaulter pushed his way through the blankets and was mortally wounded by enemy small arms fire from within. Chief Byers, completely aware of the imminent threat, fearlessly rushed into the room and engaged an enemy guard, aiming an AK-47 at him. He then tackled another adult male who had darted toward the corner of the room. During the ensuing hand-to-hand struggle, Chief Byers confirmed the man was not the hostage and engaged him. As other rescue team members called out to the hostage, Chief Byers heard a voice respond in English and raced towards it. He jumped atop the American hostage and shielded him from the high volume of fire within the small room. While covering the hostage with his body, Chief Byers immobilized another guard with his bare hands and restrained the guard until a teammate could eliminate him. His bold and decisive actions under fire saved the lives of the hostage and several of his teammates. By his undaunted courage, intrepid fighting spirit, and unwavering devotion to duty in the face of near-certain death, Chief Petty Officer Byers reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Edward C. Byers Jr. is the 6th Navy SEAL to have received the Medal of Honor and only one of 8 living Navy Medal of Honor recipients. He is also only one of 2 Medal of Honor recipients to still be actively serving in the United States military. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you so much for listening to Tales of Honor podcast, and if you like this podcast, please be sure to leave us a nice review, a good rating, and tell your friends and family. You can see more information over on Facebook, Instagram, and at thebeardeddetailer.com/TOH podcast. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead, write an email, and send them right on over to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrosch. Thanks for listening.